All right. I think we're all set now. So, taking a moment to just come to a comfortable seat and tune into your breath. So often we focus on the exhale because that is the phase of the breath where we're letting go, where we're de-stressing. Right? The inhale is really important. If we can't exhale without inhaling, it brings us energy and feeds our cells with oxygen. But it's the exhale, that moment where we release, that reminds us to let go when the time is right to let go. Knowing when that time is right is the challenge. So let's just take a few breaths together, breathing in and then exhale right to the end of your exhale. Let the breath go. You can even pause for a moment if you like at the end of your exhale. Inhale and then exhale. Feel a sense of dropping. Perhaps if you've been holding some stress in your body, you can imagine where that stress might be located in your body. Send your inhale there, and as you exhale, imagine that tension or stress dissolving or dissipating. Breathing in, notice where are you holding. Breathing out, could you let go? Could you release? Well, let's take a few breaths where you have the option now to make a little bit of sound. So often sound is a deeper way of letting go of tension in the body. So if it feels right for you, you might hum or sigh or ah as you exhale. Then if that doesn't feel right for you, just breathe out as you normally would. Maybe one more like that. Just give your arms a shake and move your head a little, shake your body. You can stamp your feet, shake your legs, just kind of resetting. Just let all of that go. Right, and then take a big breath in, reach your arms up. And then as you exhale, let your body come forward over your legs. Try to let your head relax down. That also gives your nervous system the message that you're safe. Lifting with a breath in. Exhale, letting the breath go. Let your head go. Let go of those things that you can't control that just add to tension and stress. Soften your face. Continue a few more times. You're inhaling up, exhaling forward. Letting your head release with each forward movement. It's staying upright this time, letting the hands come to the knees and separating the feet a little wider. Doing a little movement for the spine, arching the back with a breath in. Exhaling, rounding, and again, sinking the chin toward the chest. Inhale, expanding. Exhale, letting go. A few more breaths like that. Feel the whole of your spine. Notice where you feel movement. And then coming back to a neutral spine, sitting up on your sit bones, not rolled back onto your tailbone. And we'll rock from one sit bone forward to the other sit bone, moving back. And see if you can feel that shift of weight coming forward on your sit bones, moving from one side to the other. And then go the other direction as well. Great, and then coming back to the center. Let's let the arms release down to the sides. One area where I tend to hold a lot of tension, and I know this is really normal, is in the shoulders, and especially after some beautiful days outside gardening. So let's do a little work with the shoulders. So we'll lift them up toward the ears, roll them back, and let them release down. You can inhale as you lift. And as you let your shoulders go down, feel the weight of the world sliding off, just letting go of whatever is holding you or you're holding it. And again, if there's something specific, maybe something you've been grappling with, you might just imagine letting that go with each breath. I release what's holding me down, what's holding me back, what's keeping me stuck. Great, let's roll the shoulders one and then the other. All right, go one way, the other way. Great, and then come back to sit comfortably. Neck and shoulders, absolutely related to one another, and neck is also an area where we as human beings tend to hold tension. And the neck is a delicate area too. It's the most mobile part of the spine, and we easily wrench the neck. So let's do a little bit of work here. So take a breath in, sit up nice and tall. As you exhale, let your chin gently drop down toward your chest and pause there for a moment. Just notice any sensations that are present. And then slowly lifting your head up. You'll turn your head to the side. Turn until you feel a gentle restriction, never ever forcing anything. And then make a little half circle coming down across the front of your chest and moving to the other side. You can pause there for a moment. Find your first level of restriction, holding there, and then when you're ready, slowly make a half circle to the other side. And you can go side to side a few times like that. Notice, does one side of your neck feel more mobile, more open, more fluid than the other? It's not about judging anything, but really just tuning in, noticing, being present, being aware. If a full circle would feel like a good option for you, go ahead and make a full circle. Be cautious not to let your head fall back behind your shoulders. Again, protecting your precious neck. And eventually, you might switch directions and go the other way a few times and see if that feels different in any way. And then coming back to the center. Let's take the arms down to the sides. Again, let the shoulders draw down, let the arms be heavy. And then turning the palms out, lift the arms to somewhere around shoulder height or parallel to the ground, as long as that's comfortable for you. Turning the baby fingers up a little more and reaching out with the fingers. Feel some stretch in your arms. And then gently curl your hands into fists and draw the fists up toward your wrists, and then draw the fists toward your shoulders. And then we'll open at the elbows, uncurl the wrists, uncurl the hands. You can even try turning the fingers down. So palms are up, but fingers reach down. And then try some circles. Circle one way, circle the other way. And give your arms a shake and shake them right down. And pause for a moment, let your arms hang and notice what you feel. Notice what's present. Feel maybe tingling or energy in your arms, the temperature. Really tuning in. What do you notice? And let's lift the arms straight up overhead. Big circle around. We'll do that again, lifting. You can inhale as you lift. Maybe add a bit of a back bend. And then reach out and circle as you come down. Again. All right, we'll lift right up the center this time. And as you bring your arms down, take them to one side. So you can bring the opposite hand to the thigh. The other hand can come to your hip or to the chair. And you want to lift the spine tall and very gently, turning to look over your shoulder for a breath or two. Next inhale, come to center, lifting up. Exhale, twisting the other way. It's not a big twist, just a very mild twist, just starting to feel the beginning of a twist and really lengthening and breathing here. Okay, coming back to the center, and let's come into a forward bend again. So you can either have your hands or your forearms on your thighs here, or if you like, you can let your chest come to your thighs, arms dangle down. And then if it's comfortable, let your head release. If you have pressure in your head, so it could be high blood pressure, any kind of pressure in your head, coming up so that your head is above your heart is an excellent idea here. Take a few more breaths and really focus on the exhale. Find where you're holding tension, soften where you can. When you come up, if you need to bring your hands first to your knees, go ahead. Otherwise, lifting straight up and taking the arms overhead and releasing. Well, let's lift one arm up. The other hand can come to your chair, or if you're on the ground, to the floor. So you want to support yourself here. If you want to widen your feet a little to feel more stable, you can do that. And then a little bit over and a lot up. So reaching mostly up, a little over, and then coming back. And then we'll switch sides. So lifting with the arm. You can pause here to feel lots of length. Reaching it over to the side just for a moment, just a breath. And then coming back up. Great. Switch sides. Great. We'll stay 2 breaths this time. So reaching up, breathing in, breathing out. One more breath. Coming up, we'll switch sides. Find that length in your torso. And then as you're ready, reach up and over. Couple of breaths here. And then reaching up to the center again, hands to the knees. And again, cat, cow. So inhale, arching your back. Exhale, rounding. Let your head come down. Let go of holding. Let go of the need to always be, vigilant, looking around, being on. Allow yourself to soften here. Right, now coming back to the center, you can either take your hands one over the other over the heart, you can bring your palms together at the heart, whatever feels right for you, whatever gesture feels supportive to you. Take a moment, and if there is something in your life that you would like to release, to let go of, you might bring that to your mind. And I would suggest, if there's something really, really big, maybe don't go there right now. Maybe focus on something that feels more manageable, more doable. Maybe you'd like to let go of a few extra carbs. Maybe you'd like to let go of your pajamas. Whatever comes to mind. And again, something little is better than something big. It's much easier to practice with things that we feel are manageable. And if nothing comes to you, let that go too. So no need to force. But if there is something that you feel the need to let go of, you can take a moment to be grateful for its presence in your life, for the way that it has served you. And then when you feel ready, if you feel ready, you could raise that up like an offering and send it out into the world, lowering your arms with that gesture. And then repeat. So hands to the heart, pause for a moment. If there's something that you would like to release, bring that to your mind, lift it like an offering, and let it go as you exhale. And one more time, holding that thing. And then lifting it and letting it go. Okay, pause here for a moment. You can close your eyes if you like. Tune back into your breath. Tune back into the exhalation. Be present with whatever emotions are there with you. And anytime, if you feel overwhelmed, you can always open your eyes, do some movement. Taking a moment to breathe and observe. Soften your jaw, your shoulders, your belly, your hands. Notice what it's like to just sit for a moment and not do anything. No pressure to be productive. Just pause. And take a couple of energizing breaths, breathing in now. Exhale, still fully and completely, but let your inhale have a little bit more exuberance or oomph to it now. Getting ready to come to stand whenever you feel ready. Come up. If you're sitting on a chair, you can just move it aside. You may want to have it handy after. So coming to mountain pose, the basic standing pose of yoga. Your feet planted underneath your hips. Let your weight move into your heels a little bit. So even our posture can have a huge effect on our mood and our emotions. So if we are standing, and if you're looking at the screen, you see from the side, if I'm standing with my weight more on the balls of my feet versus more on the heels, I'm planted when I bring my weight to my heels. I'm anticipating, I'm getting ready to go, to move when I'm more forward. And we tend to sort of be more moving and less sort of with ourselves. And this time of, we'll call it the time of pause, the pandemic, we've all had to be deeply with ourselves. And it can be challenging. So take a moment, feel your feet, feel your heels, feel yourself right here, right now. Whatever challenges are present, be with that. And if you're feeling great today, be with that. Right? I've sometimes felt a little guilty for feeling good when I know that others are challenged. So from this place of weight sinking down into the heels, let your heart expand a little. Feel a little opening and lifting, not rigidly, just a little light opening and lifting around the heart. And then let's take the hands, turn them out, lift the arms up overhead, breathing in. As you exhale, bend your knees. You can either bring your hands to your thighs or your shins or reach down toward the ground. And then inhale, lifting again. Good, repeating that movement. Exhale. Inhale. If moving all the way forward feels like too much for you, you could always use your chair to support you. Right, you can go ahead and stay in the forward bend, any version. It could be hands or elbows on the thighs, arms dangling down, hands on the chair. The most important thing really is that you feel a sense of release or letting go. And often the head and neck symbolize that. So check in with your neck. Are you holding your head? Could you let it drop a little more? And still be comfortable. If you're not comfortable, that trumps everything. When you're ready to come up, lifting all the way up with a breath in. And exhale, releasing. Taking your feet a little bit wider now. After sitting for a while, we'll release the hips a little bit with some circles. You can bring your hands to your hips and let your body circle around, working really focused on the hips. But as you move your hips, you're also moving your whole spine, and you can bring that movement a little more if you like, and circle the torso. You can also try, just for a little change, a little difference, is to keep the torso relatively still and think about just moving the hips, going one direction or the other, and see what feels better for you. Does it feel really good to get your whole body into that movement, or is a little smaller circle more upright, more comfortable for you? What are your hips saying right now? What do you feel? What do you notice? Good. And then let's eventually make our way back to the center. So you can keep your feet a little bit wider, maybe shoulder distance, or even wider if that's comfortable for you. We'll take one arm, reach it up. Soften your knees a little bit so you're not rigid. We're going to reach that arm up and over just as we did sitting, but this time we're going to then swing the arm down, come down toward the ground, come all the way up, pause there, and reach the side again. And then you can swing down towards the foot on the one side, the foot on the other side, or maybe it's the knee for you, and back up. Again, reaching to the side, coming around, and lifting. Good, one more. And then letting that arm release. We'll lift the other arm, breathing in. Exhale, over to the side. And again, you can reach down, swinging the arm around to come up. So it's to the side, a little turn, around and back up. And lifting up to the center again, releasing that arm down. You can, if you've got a chair and you want to use it, you can turn towards your chair, but you can absolutely do this just bringing your hands to the leg or to the floor. So we'll take a small step forward, like warrior, but even smaller. So just sort of a regular step as if you're walking down the road. It's really nice and easy. Your back foot will turn out to the side a little bit, and that just helps to keep your foot anchored down. If the foot is forward, when you go forward, the heel tends to lift and it's less supported, less balanced. So back foot turned out a little bit, front foot straight forward. We'll lift the arms up. Exhale, and you can bring your hands onto your thigh if you like, or if you've got a chair, you can bring your hands to the chair. But it's not about going all the way forward to the ground at this point. We'll work on a nice long spine here. So lifting the chest a little bit, draw the shoulders back. Breathing in, breathing out. And then really put your weight into your legs. Feel like you could lift your hands up and your legs would hold you. And then if you feel strong enough to release and it doesn't feel like a strain, you can take the arms to the sides. So I'm not sure if you can tell, I'm not rounded in my back here. And I'm almost arched in the back. So for you, it might be a little bit higher up, might be a little lower down. And then bring your hands onto the chair or back onto your leg if that's where you've been working. And then from here, let's go a little forward. You can bend the front knee if you like. Maybe your elbows come to the chair. Maybe if you're not using a chair, the hands come to the ground. And again, letting the head release. If you feel really tight in that front leg, bend and straighten it rather than holding it in a position. And head releasing as much as possible. And if there's something in particular you want to let go of, this would be a lovely time to bring it back into your mind. And as you exhale, having the intention of letting go. When you're ready to come up, if your elbows are on a chair, you might want to come back onto your hands and then lift all the way up from there, breathing in, exhaling to release. And then other side. So again, just a small stance, back foot turned out comfortably so you can feel well supported here. Lifting the arms up, breathing in. If you want to bend your front knee a little, that's totally fine. You'll come forward, either hands onto the thigh or onto the chair or whatever's handy. Could be couch or counter, piano, whatever you've got. And from there, finding that length in your spine, pressing into your feet, really feeling the strength in your legs, and then checking in. Would it feel okay to my lower back, my legs, to release the arms out to the sides and stay here, working these big muscles of your thighs, your legs, and also your lower back, strengthening. And you can bring your hands down. And again, find a position where you can relax now into that forward bend. It may be that your elbows come to the chair, or hands come to the floor, or blocks if you have them, or maybe being more upright is better for you. So find the expression of the pose that works for you. Always your body is your master. It is the one that has more wisdom as to what you need than anybody else. When you tune in, tuning in can be challenging. There's lots of noise sometimes of what we should or think we could do. When you're ready to come up, we'll lift back up with a breath in and exhale to release. You can bring the feet together. Come back to Tadasana or mountain pose, that basic standing pose where your feet are lined up underneath your hips and your heels are dropping into the earth. When your heels drop down, the thighs pull up. There's a little natural lift through the torso, dropping the shoulders down and feeling lengthened right up through the crown of the head. And breathing in, breathing out. Allow yourself to just be for a moment. Let go of the need to do, to be productive. Breathing in, breathing out. A couple more breaths here, and then we'll change our position. So if you are ready to get on the floor, we're going to move there next. If you have a mat, you can use your mat. If you don't, just the floor or the carpet, whatever works. So make your way slowly to the ground. When you get there, you can bend your knees, have your feet flat on the floor. Bring your hands onto your body anywhere where you can feel your breath. So it could be one hand on the rib cage, one on the belly, or both on the belly, both on the rib cage, maybe one on the heart. And take a moment to tune into your breath again, where we started today with a little more emphasis and focus on your exhalation. Feel the support of the ground beneath you. Know that you have everything you need. Letting go of the breath with each exhalation, feeling your body drop down a little more. A couple more breaths here. Allow the breath to settle. Again, if there's something specific that you feel the need to let go of, you can bring it to your mind and imagine it being released with your exhalation. And if there's nothing in particular, we all know that eventually there will be something. So just practicing letting go in general. It's the idea of releasing. So from this place, we'll do very gentle movement, working with one side of the body at a time. So we'll start with the right side. The right arm and leg are going to stretch away from each other on the ground. So you can straighten your right leg, straighten your right arm. And if it's not comfortable overhead, out to the side is fine. So we'll hold there and then turning your head away from your right arm. So to the left side, to the arm that's down. Pause for a moment. And come back to the center. Breathe in. And as you exhale, bring your right knee into your chest. Bring your right hand to your knee. Give a little squeeze. And releasing your foot, bringing the hand back onto your body. You could also do this with the hands on the ground if you prefer. So other side, left arm and leg will stretch out. Again, that could be arms straight overhead or more to the side if that's more comfortable. Take a breath in here, and as you exhale, turn your head away from the arm that's up, so head to the right. Pause here. And then turning your head back to center, take a breath in. As you exhale, bring your left knee now into your chest, hand to knee, drawing it in, and then releasing your foot to the floor. Let's come back to the right side, stretching out the right arm and leg, breathing in. Take a few breaths and reach that right arm and leg a little more away from each other. Feel like you're growing your right side long. Breathe into the side of your torso, so the right armpit, the right lung, the right side of your waist, maybe right even down into the right side of your pelvis. Breathing all the way down, fingers to toes. And the next exhale, we'll bring the knee in. You can bring both hands either over the knee or behind the knee if you like. If you like, you can stretch out the left leg here. We'll bring the right foot to the ground. If your left leg is already stretched out, you can leave it there. If it's bent, you can stretch it out as you take the left arm overhead again. And again, reach, 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 reach. Grow that left side long. Breathe into the armpit, the side of the ribs, the side of the waist, down into the area around the lower abdomen and pelvis. And then as you exhale, bring the knee into the chest again, either holding over or behind the knee, and option to extend the other leg on the ground as you hug the left knee in. Breathe. And then let's bring the left foot to the floor. We'll stretch the right arm up again. Again, it could be out to the side if that's better for your shoulder. We'll work a little bit on strengthening the core. So here, as you press into the foot that's on the ground, feel your lower back move toward the ground. Engage your stomach muscles. Lift the leg toward the arm toward the leg. You can bring the hand to the front of the leg or reach behind if you want to gently encourage a bit more stretch. And then we'll release the leg. Keep pressing into the left foot as the right leg extends, right arm lifts. Exhale, lift them toward each other. Inhale, stretch out. Try to keep your abdominal muscles gently engaged, lower back, neutral. Breathing in as you extend, breathing out as you draw the leg in. Relax your face, your jaw. This time as your leg is lifting, bring your hand either behind the thigh if you can reach, bend the knee a little if you need to. You can bring the other hand and interlace your fingers if that's comfortable for you, but you can also do this without holding on at all. So if you have short arms, tight legs, it may be quite a reach to get behind the legs. So whatever works for you. You don't want to be straining or forcing yourself to hold on. And then from there, circle your ankle around. See if you can really notice all the little nuances of sensation. Where do you feel the movement? Do you only feel it in your ankle? Is it in your foot, your shin, your calf? What moves? What pulls? What do you notice? And then press your heel toward the ceiling, toes toward your face. If you want a little bit more stretch, you can use your hands to gently draw the leg towards you. But you're never forcing or straining ideally here. Right, and then bending your knee, let the ankle come across the opposite thigh. So your right ankle would be on your left thigh now. Here you have lots of options. So for many people, this is enough stretch here. You want to be honoring your right knee. So if there's any tension or pulling in your right knee, you're going to back off. If this is enough stretch, stay here. If you want more stretch, you'll bring the legs closer to the body by picking up the left foot. Now it could be just onto your toes. If you've got a block or a book, you could slide under your foot, you could do that. Or if it's available, you could reach behind your leg, your left leg, with either your hands or perhaps a belt if you've got one handy. If it feels like too much stretch or there's a twisting pull on your knee, come out of the pose at any time. Otherwise, take a moment to notice what you feel, where you feel it. And bring your attention to your inhale now. As you inhale, notice the stretch. Notice if it changes as you breathe in deeply. And then also notice what changes, if anything, as you exhale. If the stretch gets easier, which it often does when you exhale, you might deepen the stretch slightly on your inhale by drawing the legs in. And then you may need to release a little as you inhale if that stretch becomes too intense. So take a few breaths, really tune in and fine tune where you're at to make this a comfortable stretch that feels just a little bit like it's getting in there, but it's not like it's really pulling hard on your hip. Less is more, and this, as we do more research into stretching, what keeps emerging is that deep static stretching can actually be detrimental to our joints. So let's release. And the leg that was up, so your right leg, you're going to bring it back in toward your chest. Stretch both arms overhead as you extend that leg out on the ground. And press down into your left foot, out with your right heel, up with your arms. Take a breath or two here. And then as you exhale, bring the arms down, bend the knee. And pause here. You can leave the hands on the ground or bring them back to your belly as you like. Just notice maybe how the left side feels compared with the right side. Whatever you're aware of, whatever you're noticing right now. There's no right or wrong. And then let's extend the left leg, left arm, reaching up. And again, reach out with your fingertips, reach out with your heel. And then put a little pressure into your right foot to help stabilize the lower back. You're engaging the core gently. If it feels straining to do this, try it with a bent knee instead of a straight leg. So you're going to lift the leg, bringing the hand either to the front or the back of the thigh, and then releasing. If you're coordinating breath, which is always optional, exhale as you lift. Inhale as you extend. Great. As you bring that leg in now, you have the option to hold on behind the leg or not hold on as feels right for you. You can try circling the ankle a few times here. Again, the more you can stay connected and tuned into what's happening right now, the more present you are, the more mindful you are. If you're circling your ankle because you've done it 1,000 times and you know what it feels like and you're thinking of something else, that's not actually yoga. Yoga is when we really get present. Of course, the mind will wander. Not to beat yourself up, but notice and bring it back whenever you're aware. Press the heel now toward the ceiling. If you want a little bit less stretch, bend the knee a bit more or move it further away. If you want a bit more stretch, gently draw the leg towards you, just till you feel a nice, even stretch, not straining. And then you can bend the knee and cross the ankle over the opposite thigh, just above the knee. And from here, again, all of those options, so you can stay here and know that this side might feel quite different from the other side because we're certainly not built evenly, symmetrically. But if you want more stretch, lifting the heel onto the toes, using a block or book under your foot, or your hands or a belt to hold behind the right thigh. So again, tune into your breath. Notice the experience, the sensation as you inhale and exhale, how that changes. If you want a little more stretch, the best time to engage is drawing the legs in slightly as you exhale and then checking in. Is that okay? Or should I release a little with the inhale? A few more breaths, tuning in. And then when you feel ready again, you can release. Bring the left knee into your chest once more. You can stretch that leg out, stretch the arm overhead, breathing in. And then as you exhale, bringing the arm down, bringing the leg down, or bringing the leg up, I guess, foot down to the floor. And let's bring both knees into the chest now, one hand to each knee. You'll draw both knees towards you as you exhale. Straighten your arms to move both knees away as you inhale. So exhaling, you're drawing in. Inhaling, you're moving away. You can stay with this movement if it feels great for you. You can switch it up to any other movement that might feel better. And one option, if you want a little more, is to take the legs up toward the ceiling, arms either out to your sides or overhead, and then back to the chest. So you're squeezing in. That would be when you're exhaling. When you're inhaling, you're expanding out, making room for the breath, and squeezing out as you exhale. And next time the knees are into the chest, whatever movement you're doing, pause there for a few breaths. Let your shoulders relax. You can hold one hand to each knee or clasp your hands over the knees or whatever works for you. Soften your jaw, your neck, your face here. If you want to rock a bit side to side, if that would feel good, go ahead. And let's bring the feet to the floor. Take the arms out to the sides. We'll work with a gentle twist. So as you exhale, both knees one direction, go one direction. The head could go the other direction. And then both knees back to center, and you're switching. So alternating sides. Again, the breath is exhale as you go to the side, inhale to center. But it's always, always option to just breathe normally and do the movement at a pace that feels comfortable, especially if there's any straining or discomfort in coordinating the breath and movement. So if your breath is shorter and you want to move more slowly, it can feel quite jarring, or vice versa. If you want to breathe really long, but your movement wants to be quicker, just adjust. Do the movement and the breath at the pace that feels right. If you're twisting, you can do a few more dynamically, and if you feel like you want to stay in the twist, you could stay for a few breaths and maybe even explore a slightly deeper twist by bringing the top leg closer towards the arm and down toward the ground. And if you want less twist, that top leg foot will come to the floor, knee will point at the ceiling. That will give you less twist. And if you're staying, switch sides at some point, going the other way. And again, you can play around with more twist, bringing the leg further across the body, less twist, bringing the leg back towards the center. And then eventually bringing both knees back to the center. If you feel like you're a little lopsided, lift your hips up in a mini bridge, bring them back down, and once more we'll bring the knees to the chest. And you can do any movement here that would feel good to bring the back into alignment after the twist. So it could be that forward and back movement that we did a moment ago, or the extending and contracting movement, or simply holding the knees. So any of those options that we've done already, or rocking side to side, maybe circling the knees to massage the lower back. So take your time. This is our last posture, our last movement before we move into our final posture of the class, Shavasana. So make sure that you feel ready to relax for a few minutes. If you need to do anything to be more comfortable, if you want to move to another position, or if you need to prop yourself in some way to be comfortable, now is the time to get ready. So go ahead, take your time, get comfortable. And always, if you prefer to stay seated for the Shavasana, you can certainly do that. Or if you choose to come back to seated, you can do that. And that's a nice option if lying down makes you feel really tired and groggy and you've got things you want to do after the class, where you need to be more on. You might choose instead, especially a morning class, to come to sit. But whatever works for you is great. So the goal or the aim for Shavasana is to let the body be settled, to integrate the physical, mental, and emotional aspects of the practice. And to be as present as possible. So we're awake, we're alert. Ideally also relaxed and present. And those states will shift, right? So we're always trying to find our way back to being as present as possible. If you find the breath helpful as a focus, you might focus on the breath. And that gives you something to come back to when you notice that your mind has wandered, which it will. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. The practice is noticing and drawing the attention back. It's not a practice of being perfect, but a practice of awareness. Let your breath be the most interesting thing happening right now. Feel its texture. Feel its quality. Feel its depth or shallowness. Feel where your breath moves in your body. Follow it from your nostrils, down through your throat and neck. Feel how it expands into your torso, and notice where is the deepest place in your body that you're aware of movement of breath. Is it in the chest, the navel, the pelvis, the feet, the hands? Where's the deepest place, the furthest place from your nostrils that you're able to feel movement of breath? Again, no right or wrong answer. There's no need to breathe any special way. There's no need to try to push the breath anywhere. Notice, where do you feel it? Where does it begin? At your nostrils. Where does it end? At the deepest point that you're aware of. Let your exhale be complete. As you focus now a little more on your exhale, feel yourself dropping down into the earth with each exhalation. Feel yourself letting go of tension around the jaw and the face as you exhale. Let that go. Exhale, let the weight of your head sink down and the shoulders release. Let your rib cage soften with the breath. The arms releasing and the hands letting go. There's nothing you need to do right now. Can you take this moment and pause, be with yourself? Let go of any judgment. Let go of any need to change anything. Come back to your breath. Exhale, feel the weight of your pelvis drop down. Let go. Sink down. Notice where you're holding, even more subtly. And see if you can let go a bit more. Dropping down through your thighs, your knees, calves, ankles, and feet. If your mind wanders, come back to your breath. Take several more breaths where the focus is on the exhale, and if there's something specific that you'd like to let go of, without bringing the whole story to mind, just imagine yourself letting that go as you exhale. The chant today that I'll share with you is a chant of letting go. And the image is of a ripe, like a pumpkin or a gourd or a squash, that just easily comes off the vine when it's ready to let go. Or like ripe fruit that easily falls when you're ready to let go. The practice, mindfulness, yoga, whatever practice you choose to help you in this life, that's the ripening. And the letting go is when we allow things to flow without holding on, without interrupting. You simply notice this is happening now. I can't change it. Let it go. Om Triambakaya Jamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityor Mukshiyamam Ritate Om. As always, if your day allows you to stay a little longer in Shavasana and that's what you'd like, you can just ignore me, carry on, spend more time breathing, letting go, being. And if you're ready to move on, if you're ready to start to breathe a little more deeply and add movement, you can do that. Maybe start with your fingers and toes and move and stretch, whatever way would feel good. And then if you've been lying down and you're ready to come back to seated, you can roll to your side, make your way upright. Then bring your palms together. I encourage you to work with this theme off your mat. Notice when you're holding on and when that creates tension for you. And ask yourself, is there anything I can do about this? And then the practice is, if the answer is yes, the practice is do it. Do it with all of your best heart and intention. And if the answer is no, then your job is to let go. Namaste.